Hi everyone, it's me. Today is December 2nd, 2025 at 1:31 p.m. I will admit to you that I've had a rough start trying to sit down and continue with my book. I went to go put on ASMR, no talking in the background, right? So that I could write, which is something I normally do. And what pops up but an interview with Michael Sala. And it triggered me to remember about his little adventure with someone new. Not only did he start with Elena Denon and her alien boyfriend, then he went on to Dr. Andrea Martin with her alien boyfriend. And there's more, okay? He's interviewing women of an older age that all claim to have an alien extraterrestrial boyfriend, okay? But the interview I saw was with Laura Eisenhower. Now, back in the day, I'm going to go scroll back up to it. So, back in the day, when I started researching this, Laura Eisenhower was there she is right there. This is 2 weeks ago, right here. Laura Eisenhower was one of the first people I used to listen to, okay? Especially about her being a whistleblower and being asked to join a Mars program. Okay, that's one of the first things that Laura Eisenhower talked about, is that because her father, or her great grandfather was a president, okay, and that she was involved with this secret Mars, secret space program, okay. Now I remember back in the day that there was someone that came out, but I can't remember who it was, but they were a family member of Laura Eisenhower's, and they said why they all stopped talking to her, because she's ill. Okay? But people didn't want to listen to that. And it wasn't taken very well back in the day because people were so adamant about protecting whistleblowers. Now, I have my own experience with this because Laura Eisenhower used to run a Facebook page called The Divine Feminine. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit with this because I stopped listening to Laura one day when she had an absolute psychotic fit, a tantrum about her being the incarnation of the Sophia. No one else, just her. She is the Magdalene incarnated on earth. Okay? And it was shocking, to say the least. And after that, I couldn't, because there was clearly something wrong with her programming. You know what I mean? Like okay? Now, I've looked for this. I remember it was in a live stream. She had like a red curtain behind her for a background, and it was just her kind of sitting on the floor or in a chair. There was nothing much in the background. She had a headband on. Her hair was pulled back. Okay? She kind of, where is that one? It's this one here. Yeah. She looked like this back in the day. And this is from 2013, okay? This is one of the pages about Laura Eisenhower, about how, because she really wants to be as important and influential as her ancestor. And when the dream of political influence was thwarted, then, well, in her own words, my great-grandfather, President Ike, who was also the army general who led the Allied forces to victory over Hitler, battled evil, corrupt powers on Earth and took on some of the most challenging scenarios in history. As I grew up, I could sense that I was completing this battle that has ancient roots. She may believe this, okay? But it's it's not legit. I know. People really want to believe this stuff, but it's not. This is from June 2028. This is much newer. Okay, the collapse of Laura Eisenhower. Now, she also goes on to say where she's pulling her information from, and that it's a mimicry of other people. Okay, I'm going to link all of this down below so you can look over it yourself. So, she basically is entangled in like mimicry. So, Dr. Michael Saul is all about Donald Trump too, right? If you didn't notice, Q, this JP loser. It's really sad, and it's a big mess. Okay, but like she believes this, but it's not factual. No one would ever ask Laura Eisenhower to be part of any secret space program that has to do with Mars. They wouldn't take her due to her mental and emotional instability. Okay? That's the number one thing. This would compromise the entire project. Yeah. Now, there's one more thing that I'm going to show you. I know this is Reddit, okay? But look what it says here. Hang on. Yeah. Beware the bringers of false hope and broken promises. She clings to President Eisenhower's legacy, hoping years later she can hang on to his great work and make it hers. Beware of her cult-like mentality. I dared to speak my mind against her and saw her true colors. Now, what I was saying was she ran this page called The Divine Feminine. I used to be very active on Facebook. I had my own page. I was in the spiritual community. This before I shut all of that down and left. Okay. Now, she was claiming that she was stranded in France. This was the real Laura Eisenhower. Okay. Because the PayPal went to her. Because I gave her money. Yeah. I thought I was protecting whistleblower, right? Like at the time, I had knew of that like certain whistleblowers had been eliminated, like say Phil Schneider, which is another case in itself. But and so I had like this duty type of feeling to help them, especially because I felt like people like her and David Wilcock were like helping to pave the way to change the world. But like I said, they're not looking to change the world. They're looking for change for their wallets, money. Anyway, I got Laura to respond to me because I told her that I was having a panic attack, and she did. It was the real Laura Eisenhower, okay? But I realize now that her being stranded in France, she had no business asking her followers for money for that. If you spent too much money in France, that's your problem. But this woman plays victim and gets money off of people, and she has for a long time, crying about being the Sophia. We can talk about the story of the Sophia because symbolically, yeah, she does follow the same kind of storyline as the Sophia. She's also made a mistake, okay? But what this says here is this woman is not enlightened in any way. Okay. I dared to speak my mind against her and saw her true colors. She is false in every way, and for those who don't agree with her, she acts as if she is a victim and allows hate and darkness to seep from her very being. It's true. She was yelling, screaming, pointing. She was having a psychotic fit about her being the Sophia, the Magdalene, the divine feminine incarnated on earth. She's the only one. Just like Elena Danaan with her emissary bullshit. Okay? Yeah. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Not to mention, she has crazy eyes. You can see in Laura Eisenhower that there's something wrong with her. Look at her. Okay? Look at other people now. Even this guy above. His energy and his eyes, totally different. Now, I'm not saying he's a good person or anything, but you got to see the difference. Even Tony Rodriguez, it's not drugs. He's in a manic state. That's why his eyes look like this. They're all the way open. All the time, Tony Rodriguez, because he's in a manic state. That's what mania looks like. And of course, he's good to give information then, because he's in a manic state. It's just truly unfortunate that parasites like Michael Salla that are only looking for views for his channel. This is why he knew he wasn't going anywhere with Elena Danaan. So he had to go get somebody else, which happens to be that Dr. Andrea Martin. And it's so embarrassing. She's crying and going on about her extraterrestrial boyfriend. She's a fucking doctor, a professor at Worcester University in Massachusetts, where she taught many classes. Listen, you can be a doctor and still be fucked up. My doctor was. When I told her that I was having mental health problems and that I couldn't stop thinking about, I literally told her that sometimes I hope that extraterrestrials come down and wipe out 3/4 of humanity. And the bitch goes, "Oh, that doesn't sound like a bad idea," and laughed. I was like, Dr. So-and-so, right? I'm not going to say her name. I was like, you don't encourage this kind of thing. It's like, what is the matter with you? It doesn't matter if you're a doctor. You can still be fucked up. And for Dr. Michael Salla, this is fucking embarrassing. He just needs money. JP, have you seen who JP is? I didn't know who JP was until I saw this video going down this list. Hold on. This guy is a joke. He looks like a charlatan. He looks creepy as hell. Where is he? Hold on. There, look at this. JP, U.S. Army vet unmasks? What? He should have kept his mask on. This guy looks like a damn magician at a show. This is a joke, you guys. This isn't real. These people, there's something wrong with them. And I know it seems terrible and negative, but it's true. Okay? Oh, orbs tell JP of next space arc mission, 3i Atlas and medbeds. You guys. Oh, fuck, not the medbeds. They bank on all your hopes and dreams and take advantage of it. There are no medbeds. This is a terrible situation, and these people have been perpetuating it for years. Okay? But this is just like that fellow with Disclosure with Ray. It's not real. And all for money. It's all for money. Look, apocalypse coming. Highlights reel. Listen, all they're doing is scamming people and banking on your hopes, getting them up and then letting them fall over and over and over again. This guy looks like the biggest douchebag I've ever seen. Listen, I'm sorry, but I can't take it anymore. First of all, I thought it was illegal to pose as like a police officer. So how the fuck are they able to get away Even Corey Good said he was in the military. He wasn't. Emery Smith, he wasn't either. But for some reason, they're allowed to get away with it because the fucking government profits off of it. They're never going to give you disclosure. This is why they give you these stupid ass disclosure events with, what was his name? Lou Elizondo. Oh my God. I know I shouldn't allow this stuff to make me so upset, but it does. It not only triggers me about what I already went through 5 hours ago, revelations and revolutions. Would you fuck off, Michael Sala? Give me a second to find those two other old ladies with their alien boyfriends. I'm sorry. I know that I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but just hold on. I found it, and oh my God. More galactic envoys awaken to Dark Fleet service as Galactic Federation of Worlds double agents. That's another one. Look at her. Look at the eyes. Look at how sad and empty she is. Look, I know about sadness, okay? Because I'm really fucking trying to fight off going into a depression about my crush on Claudio, all right? So I know all about this. But never have I ever sat around daydreaming about a fucking extraterrestrial boyfriend, okay? This is a whole other level of delusional I hope to never, ever, ever, ever fucking fall into. Ever. I never will. They've never tried this shit with me in the spirit realm. And the only reason why they took advantage of me is because I had my weak-ass crush on Claudio. Okay? I know that seeing me like this isn't easy. And I don't need your advice. I need to feel through things. Sometimes you just need to feel through things, okay? I'm going to be all right. I don't need any advice. That only pisses me off. I'm allowed to feel feelings. And I haven't expressed it this way. But this, Dr. Andrea Martin, now her, why are you doing this? Is he just looking for a new woman or something? Does he not have a wife, Michael Sala? I don't know. But this is enough. This is ridiculous. These are the bringers of false promises. What did they say? What was it again? With the we oppose deception? There's somebody having a conversation outside my door again. Beware the bringers of false hope and broken promises. Hold on, I have to pause till they stop talking. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why people keep doing that. My air machine drowned them out before. My air purifier, so I couldn't hear them. Now I can hear them all the time. But anyway, yeah, this alien boyfriend thing is a weakness. Even with me, it's a weakness. They told me in the spirit realm a long time ago, a couple years ago now, that the twin flame thing, this woman, I know who she is. I just don't know her name. It's the one that shapeshifts from the lioness. I wrote about her in my book. Lioness lady, I call her, okay? But she told me straight up that the twin flame thing was the devil's greatest weapon against me, which is true. Absolutely 100% true. But it's not just, and I understand, like, okay, for my situation, I never really found deep connection in my relationships. There was something that wasn't aligned with me and my chosen boyfriends, okay? You see what I'm saying? Like, but I realized that I was settling and that it's more complicated, okay? I was settling and things weren't the way that I had hoped or wanted them to be. It was very empty. We never had anything in common. I always had to be like, okay, well, this will do. This is good enough because this is all there is. Because I couldn't find anybody who was spiritual like me. Okay? So I settled. But I was always compromising my own happiness. And I had to do a lot of drugs. Well, smoke a lot of weed, okay? But it's still a drug. It's a drug to me now. Smoke a lot of weed, and I would drink like a whole bottle of wine just to be intimate with them. I'm not gay or anything. Trust me, I went over that too. I'm like, am I gay? No, I'm not gay. It's just that I never found a male that was truly impressive to me. Okay? And so I do know the struggle. All right? It's most likely the same situation as Elena Denon. Even in her book, she talks about some guy named Luke or something, but that guy probably isn't around anymore. No one wants to stick with somebody. This is why she's obsessed now with her relationship with Thorhan, because no one wants to stick around someone that's always talking about some extraterrestrial boyfriend. They'll always feel inadequate. You know what I mean? So there's quite a few of them now. And I believe that it's part of an agenda to control and manipulate people. Okay? Even if you're a male, all right? There's going to be no extraterrestrial girlfriend. Do you know how many people have messaged me to say that they think that we're twin flames? A lot. And I'm telling you, look, it's not like I'm exempt. I'm showing you that it happened to me too. The dreams felt so real. But the fact remains that Claudio Nocelli doesn't know I exist, nor does he care. Okay? He doesn't care. He wants bimbos. I was wrong about him. Straight up. You know, it's all about money and getting hoes for his ego and popularity and shit. Probably didn't feel very great in life, so now he's taking it for himself. But, okay. You know what I mean? It's the truth. And so, look, I have to say that I'm disappointed in the whole thing now, because there's so many of them who have gone this way. You know, Laura Eisenhower's not the only one. There's tons of them. Dr. Andrea Martin, now this one. Sometimes when life doesn't work out the best, we do reach into our spiritual realm for even just mental and emotional survival. Unfortunately, I've had to recognize my own weakness, you see? And it's hard, but it's a part of growing and rising above these things, I suppose. It's not that I don't feel even a bit sad for these people, because I do. It must be very hard, you know? And then, especially when you become a public figure, it becomes even more difficult. But unfortunately, this is what's taken over, you know? This, and I mean, I've been blocked on his page. I put a thumbs down. Did I say anything? Oh, I said, yeah, I knew you would continue with this. You are a disgrace. You keep doing the same BS over and over again like a parasite. Yeah, and I still mean it. But no one's pressed like 12 days ago. It's because I can only see my comments. He hid me on his channel. Wow, she is a mess. Please get well, my friend. Yeah. See? Confusing, erratic, pretty vague testimonies. I'm sure there's truth out there, but it's so challenging to follow and say this is conclusive evidence of envoy life. And it's not. It's fake. Okay? I'm not buying it. Thank God. See? Thank God there are people waking up. And I knew this was happening ever since the stuff with Elena Denon that went down. A lot of husbands, see what I mean? Look at this. Look at this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But there are, thank you all. I'm just not sure But I can't say it didn't happen to any one of these women, but why do they all have husbands from upstairs? I don't get that. Thank God. It's not real. These are spiritual spouses. Look more. I can't follow it. Yes. Good. But there's also some people who will continue to believe this. How courageous to speak of such despicable horror. See, I didn't watch it, so I don't even want to hear her bullshit. But she will bank on your feelings as well. Feel sorry for me. Oh, I've had such a hard time. Listen, I am not writing my book for that. This is a reality that happened to me and clearly explains how I ended up this way. Okay? With these types of energies and stuff like this that people have always been saying, oh, she's evil, she's a reptilian. No, I've suffered a lot, but I've triumphed through a lot of it. And part of that is facing harsh realities such as this. So there's a huge problem. Michael Saul is not going to stop. He's going to keep perpetuating this. If we don't fight back, when good people do nothing, evil takes over. And this is what's happened. These beings are preying on women like this. Can getting a spirit spouse connection. We talked about this in my last video about astral thought form parasites. You're thinking about how much you wish you had a partner, blah, 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 blah. You know, it happened to me twice. It's horrible and it's cruel, but they are energy parasites. And they also live off euphoria, love, sexual energies, all of that. And even Elena Danaan has fallen victim. Let me just try to bring up this last thing with her, because her last post was about Thorhan. Hold on. I forgot something. Hold on. Share this tab instead. So when I was looking for the Sophia, okay, this is all Laura Eisenhower's stuff about being the Magdalene and the Sophia. Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, that's why she does this. But again, when the mother turns her face to shadow, it's all like the Kali Ma thing, the dark goddess. But anyway, she's obsessed with the Sophia. She went with David Icke, of course. Another one who's just scamming with this using symbolism and allegory. But look, this is all her crap. Okay? So I thought that if you weren't aware, I should bring attention to your awareness about this, okay? Because Laura Eisenhower is not right. Right? There's something wrong with her. Be right back. Okay, so here we are on Elena Danaan's Telegram channel. Now look at this again. Here's another picture of her and Thorhan. I'm so sorry. I can't wait till my energy is better or whatever. Okay? Now, I forgot to move myself to the other side of the camera or other side of the screen. And I don't think I can fix it now. But listen. Again, it says love is like a pulse of a heart. It beats both ways. Good God. See, in the beginning, she didn't want to talk about her relationship with him because it would downplay her legitimacy. Okay? But now that she's established herself, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to have to stop the video again because I've had to open a window on my computer, but I have to stop the video again. I'll be right back to show you what spirit spouse is. Okay, so we're back, and I have here What is a spirit spouse? A spirit spouse is a supernatural entity believed to be a partner or spouse in certain cultural or spiritual beliefs. This concept often involves a relationship with a spirit that can influence the individual's life, emotions, or relationships. What is a spirit spouse in the Bible? In the Bible, a spirit spouse is often associated with demons like incubus and succubus, which are believed to engage in sexual relationships with humans, causing spiritual and emotional turmoil, often leaving them single and alone without any friends. That's what happens. This concept is not explicitly supported in Scripture and is considered by some to be a misrepresentation of biblical teachings, but it's not. Okay? There are some cultures that will marry people off to the dead in order to save their souls or whatever. There's different beliefs and stuff like that. But what I'm telling you is that it is 100% a spiritual entity, and it influences, like, hold on. This is in my book. Hold on. Okay. It says right here with the fifth is demons. This is why everybody was on about 5D, 5D. 5D is not unconditional love. It is the mind. Listen. The fifth dimension. This is the plane of existence populated by intelligent entities that have never existed in the third dimension. Being closely associated with the third dimension, entities in the fifth spiritual dimension can interact with us easily, influence our thought patterns, circumstances, and or elements. In religious texts, these entities are referred to demons or fallen angels. If it seems too good to be true, it is, my loves. Trust me, okay? This is never going to happen to me ever again because I'm never going to have feelings for a man ever again. I will not allow it. I am not having it. I am fucking done. Don't get triggered and upset about this if you're a guy sitting around thinking that you had a chance with me, because you didn't. I'm not trying to be mean to you. It's not because you're inadequate or not good enough, okay? Don't feel like that. It is not meant to be. I've tried to make several videos telling people, hey, we are not twin flames. But if something like this is happening to you, if you see me this way in your dreams and shit, and you really think this is real, no, it's not. It's something trying to get a spirit spouse connection with you. Okay? And again, this is connected to the astral thought parasites. Hold on. Do you remember this? This is what we're dealing with, okay? It's the same thing. These women are lonely and they have no relationship. Astral parasite is a very broad term for a range Astral parasite is a very broad term for a range of energetic entities, spiritual entities, but accurately describes how these energies function and the role in which they play. As perceived in shamanic beliefs, astral parasites are entities that feed on vitality of individuals, causing energetic imbalances and spiritual disharmony. Much like physical parasites, they latch on to the physical body and drain it. Astral parasites latch onto our energetic bodies, draining us of our life force and enhancing existing vulnerabilities, like being lonely without a husband. These entities are thought to be attracted to negative emotions, trauma, unresolved issues, making individuals susceptible to their influence. And all of these people have that, including Elena Danaan. What she wrote about in the beginning of her book, I don't believe that in any way she had a SA experience with any kind of graze. There was blood on her vagina at that young age, probably because she had her period, or she was SA'd by a family member. Okay? Yeah. Listen, those experiences in the spirit realm, that's spirit body stuff. Why she's playing on that like it's a Me Too thing, I don't know. All right? But let me see. Trauma. Okay, the effects of astral parasites can easily vary depending on the entity itself because they're all different and they all have different agendas or what they want and what they like to feed on. As well as the magnitude of trauma that is latching onto it within the person. Most people won't consciously realize they have them. See, Elena doesn't realize that's what Thorhan is. He pops in while she's giving like little channeling sessions. Oh, Elena, you're so good looking. You look so great for your age. And she's like, and thinks like this is something good and funny. Like it makes her feel good about herself, but it's not real. Okay. Being programmed. So there it's most people won't consciously realize they have them due to being programmed into numbness and unconsciousness when it comes to energy, whilst others may experience more severe symptoms if they are particularly sensitive. Now, what I wrote or what I read last time, whereby we attract what mirrors our own unconscious belief systems. So again, about they can see, they know us better than we know ourselves. Okay, look, astral parasites are also extremely common for those initiating in esoteric practices such as shamanism, which Elena Danang claims to be a shaman, or the occult, particularly if regularly utilizing astral travel, which she does all the time, journeying, or ritual work. She's not going to outer space. She's astral traveling from her couch. From experience, astral parasites can come through if intending on speaking with a specific spirit through ritual or astral travel, just like Helen Morris. They can even pose as a spirit that you are intending to work with in order to establish a bond with your energy field. For this reason, they are often confused with daemons, which are divine intelligences, but that is not what they are. Okay, as a part of the reason such spirits are seen as evil. And they are, because they're taking advantage of these people. They're telling you it's aliens, it's outer space. Oh, I'm going to Neptune. I'm sorry, everybody, but this is the real deal. This is the truth, and it's an uncomfortable truth that we don't like to hear, but it's way better than these bullshit comforting lies that have been taking advantage of us from way before even 2012. Okay, they've been doing this back in the 60s and 70s too. We just forgot. And they take advantage of us again because of that, okay? So everything that I'm talking about today will be linked below, okay? Okay, the main reason for this manifestation being near enough instantaneous in the astral plane, whilst the physical manifestation needs consistent energy. This is why she's always energy harvesting with her bullshit, to always feed these entities. So to summarize, if we are holding on to a lack or unprocessed trauma, which Elena clearly has, we are going to attract into our field the mirrors of the trauma we went through. Yes. And so Elena never talks about her relationship with her father, anything like that. Okay? This is why. And I'm sorry that it is this, but it is. Okay? And I understand it might be difficult hearing it from somebody like me because I don't look picture perfect and I don't have my makeup on and I'm not all dressed up and fancified for you. Okay? But you've been fed a lot of lies. And a lot of these people with their picture perfect energy are full of shit. Okay? So I'm really hoping that I can put this aside now. I really have to, because it is taking me away from my own mission, which is another reason and way that these entities try to distract you from your actual goal, because finishing my book is extremely important. And then releasing both of them. Because I've got two. This one and the one that I'm writing now. And they need to be released at the same time. So that people cannot be like, oh, it's just her childhood trauma. No. You can't tell me about me. I know all about me. All right? And I am learning day by day more and more how not to fall into these traps. But I don't want people sitting around daydreaming about this, because you'll just have something draining your energy. And at the end of it, you feel awful. Okay? Yeah. You just feel awful. There's no one there to hug. Okay? So before I get too emotional, because like I said, this is something that I have even suffered with, and it's something that I have to get over, you know? But as much as I would hope for it to be true, because who wouldn't want that, you know? But it's not, you know? And they never tried that shit with me because they knew it wouldn't work. But they could manipulate me through other people. You know what I mean? So my heart's a bit heavy because, again, I'm kind of mourning the loss, even though I had nothing to begin with Claudio. But it certainly was nice to daydream about it, you know, of something like that, like how I found his book and when I saw him for the first time and all that. That is the last time that will ever happen. So I know it may be disappointing to some people, but there is somebody out there for you. It's just not me. All right. And I appreciate your kindness, your care, and support. I hope that that wasn't the only thing keeping you here. But if it was and you choose to leave, maybe it's for the best anyway. You know, I only want what's best for you and your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. That's all I care about. I don't care about subscriptions and this stuff like this. I don't make any money off of this anyway at all. Not a cent. Not 1 cent. Okay? It was never about that. I was really looking for real changes for the world. Good changes. So we could grow as a civilization. And I did not realize how many people were affected in this way. Okay? Another prime example is what happened with Megan Rose. Okay? The entities behind Megan Rose no longer liked sharing the spotlight with Elena Donat. So they probably had her go on about Black Goo, Donald Trump, and Q and ruin that for her because now it's harvesting off of her sadness of being kicked out of the alliance of bullshit. Yeah? Yeah. So it convinced Elena Danaan, oh, this one would be a good one to work with, even though Elena Danaan knew that Valnek is gay and all that. She made all that shit up to ruin Megan Rose on purpose when Megan Rose wasn't playing ball anymore with their extraterrestrial husband agenda. They already tried this and failed because these beings cannot work together. They always want the main source of energy. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Elena Danaan saw an opportunity with Megan Rose. The power in numbers. 2 extraterrestrial contacts with husbands. Yes, not just one anymore. But then when it didn't work, she kicked her to the curb, said she was compromised. All this bullshit. So that the energy would go back to her. It's a perfect example of spirit spouse activity. It influences your emotions. Listen, let's read it again. You can influence the individual's life, emotions, and relationships. It infects your whole life because it all becomes about that. You only want that relationship with that being. But it's not real. Even when she dies, she's going to get a rude awakening, I believe, because that is probably a soul eater and it will have her in its collection. I'm not joking with you. This isn't something that I want for these people. I'm trying to help them, but they don't listen. Even Claudio with Helen Morris. That's a spirit spouse bullshit. And you know what? I've exterminated a lot of demons in my time. Okay? Within me and outside of me. And I'm not opposed to destroying these ones either. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to give them a little bit more time. But they only have a short time anyway. And then there'll be no more time to repent for your sins. symbolically. I'm not a Bible thumper. But if they never confess, they will always be a victim to this. Always. And it'll drag them right down to symbolic hell. It's not a joke. But I will destroy these beings. And there's nothing they can do about it. It doesn't matter what you try to do to stop me, you will not. And the less I have to lose, the more dangerous I become. So you could try, which I'm sure that you will, to use your magic bullshit to stop me, which you have in the past. But remember, the less I have to lose, the more dangerous I become. So it's up to you, Elena. You can surrender, or we will destroy your kingdoms. You too, Claudio. Yeah, because I ain't fucking around no more. These beings have caused so much fucking problems that I've had enough. It's not fair that they're taking advantage of the weaknesses of these people. And clearly, Claudio has a weakness too for love and intimacy and connection, right? Or you would not need Helen Morris to tell you, oh, Claudio, you're so intelligent, like you wrote in your book. That's enough. You need to gain a pair, all of you, male or female, and stand up to this. But it has to be their choice. It has to be their choice. But I will take that choice from you. And I will destroy them. Do you understand? They don't come back. They don't have immortality. So if you value your friends, do the right thing. Surrender, admit to what you've done, and then maybe they will survive. But what is coming for you is not going to have mercy. So this is your last and final warning. Get rid of your spirit spouses. Do the right thing or be destroyed. That's it. I've had enough. I'm sorry that this might be difficult for people to hear. This is not your mission, so you stay the fuck out of it. And if you want a position like this, then get off your fucking ass and do something about it. But don't you dare come here and tell me, oh, yeah, man. No. No more. I will destroy them. And I can. And today is the last day that I will ever hold back again. Do you understand me? There comes a point where you need to put your fucking foot down and say no more. Today is that day. They are taking advantage of vulnerable people with problems. And I'm sorry I can't express it any better than that, but this is just how it is today. And am I hurt about Claudio? Yes. But am I still fucking pissed off at these beings that have influenced them this way? They still made the fucking choice. I know that. But I know what stands behind them, and that's what I've said that before. When I made my video about for truth, love, and justice, and at the end, you see me use symbolically Sailor Moon cleansing all those entities. I wasn't joking then, and I'm not joking now. Corey Good's got one as well. He cheated on his wife. Do you know that? Not a fucking surprise. Emery Smith, also on the drugs and the alcohol, going crazy. There's video proof of it, okay? I seen it before it was on Stephen Cambion's channel, but it's still there now, okay? Even probably Sarah R. Adams has something going on like this. Those spirits that she's communicating with are not who she thinks they are at all. Clearly. And poor Max. He couldn't defeat it either. But I have to. I cannot allow this anymore. I cannot. And yes, it is my fucking responsibility. It is a duty I have to free these people from the entrapment which they have gotten themselves into. I just can't believe it. I can't believe how many of them. I cannot allow this to happen. We all deserve better. And it is my greatest hope, wish, and prayer that I can do something to achieve that for all. That was my moment of silence for them. Because I cannot put up with this another day. Please tell people, share this with others before it's too late. Listen, it's just like having a cigarette. It makes you feel good at the time, but what the fuck did it solve? So you're stressed out about the light bill and you have a smoke. Did it solve the light bill, honey? No. And that's why I have to fight my own. I'm not going to go have a cigarette, even though I feel like it. I'm not gonna. Because it's not going to solve anything. Not any of this. And neither does daydreaming about a spirit spouse. Yes, it might have been helpful to generate some energy, but what did it leave me with? Nothing. So I'm sorry. I truly do care about others. I do. And it is not easy, okay? Because I have not been treated well in this life. But still, humanity is my only family. Maybe that's why I was so alone, because now I see all of humanity as my family. I treat everybody like they're not a stranger, like we just know each other. Like when I was at the hospital last week. I just do it naturally. It's just how I was created and made in this life. And because of that, I can't let any of my brothers and sisters have this happen to them. These people could have been for so much better and more. We could have gotten somewhere by now. We could have beaten the cabal. But we haven't, because they're working for them with symbolism and allegory and bullshit. They believe this is how they get their ticket out of here, y'all. By impressing the cabal this way. Look what I can do. And I didn't want to believe it myself, but it's fucking true. They all know about the reset. Nothing can stop what's coming. Elena Denon said it herself. She knows. So does Claudio. So does Corey Good. So does David Wilcock, etc. Now, when I mentioned Tony Rodriguez, I do believe that 100% Elena Denon is taking advantage of that fella. Okay? She manipulates people. She's a good-looking woman. And the attention, the money that it brings, there's too many temptations with that. So, of course, he fell for that. Okay? Now, I'm pretty stressed out. And so I'm going to go now. All right? But everything that I've said, I fucking mean. I've had enough, and I can destroy them. That's what I was made for. I won't let Thor Han and Helen Morris do this anymore. You're affecting the mental health and the lives of others. Hold on. Okay. So if you don't know this, Helen Morris is the name of Martin Scorsese's wife. Martin Scorsese is a huge director and movie director and producer or whatever. Now, if you look at the lands of Mars and the lands of Venus, Claudio has named all of those lands after famous people like this, okay? Now, what I want to bring to your attention is look at this, Child of Water. This is what I was trying to tell you guys the other day. This fella has made several videos. I meant to go to the actual channel. Several videos. Look at them all. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to get it directly. Look at Helen Morris, Helen Morris, Helen Morris, Helen Morris, Helen Morris, Helen Morris, Helen. Look at it. Look at it. Him addressing, making videos, addressing her like she's a real person. This is how Claudio Nocelli immortalized Helen Morris. But oh, bitch, here I come. You are not being immortalized. Fuck no. Go back to wherever the fuck you came from before I send your ass packing there. You can go back on your own, or I will fucking send you. That's it. Because this is sad. Okay? This is sad. And this is just the first one. This isn't the first person that's ever been affected by this, but this is serious. Helen Morris is not a real person. She's a spirit spouse of Claudio Nocelli. Okay? 100%. This is what I'm talking about. And we've seen already what Elena Danaan has done. So, thank you so much for listening to me. I know this has been intense. It's been very intensely felt for me as well. But I mean every fucking word of it. Okay? Enough is enough. Now, I hope you can forgive me for the intense energy. Because I know that this is rough and difficult for people to listen to. But listen, this is not your mission. So don't try and tell me what to do. All right? All right. Take care, everybody. I'm sorry. You know, this is not a side of myself that I like to present to the world very often. Because even though I know it is part of my mission to destroy these things and get rid of them, it's not something that's easy for me. Okay? Everyone that I've dispatched in one way or another, even though if I can't remember what they look like, I remember them. All right? And it's never an easy thing to do. I don't take this lightly. I take my spiritual position very seriously. And I try to the best of my ability, reflect that in my behavior, in the way that I speak, in the way that I carry myself and my energy, yeah? But it comes to a point where you have to say enough is enough and you can't pussyfoot around anymore, or nothing's ever going to get done. Claudio's going to write 30 more books and people are going to buy him. And that is a horrible thing to do to your fellow man and woman. You don't care about humanity, not really. You care about yourself and your goddamn wallets. And we've all had enough. All right? Okay. Take care, everybody. I got to go. Thank you so much. I know this was probably difficult to listen to. I appreciate you sticking with me. Again, don't be up in my comments trying to tell me how to be or love and light bullshit, because you are seriously a pussyfooter. And it's the reason why we've gotten to this situation to begin with, is these people. All right? Okay. You were too weak to do anything, but I'm not. Sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta go. Take care, everybody. Bye. Hello there. Thank you for sticking with me with this in this video. I know that it hasn't been easy. I did not expect such a righteous anger to come out of me, and I do apologize for that. Although I have always known that this is what I was supposed to do, to bring in the Satya Yuga, the true age of truth. It requires destroying the old world. And I know that's hard for some people because you think it can be saved, but it cannot. It needs to go, and you must let it go. Okay? This world is rotten and controlled by the cabal completely. Do you understand? So it needs to be destroyed in order for the new age to come through. This one must die. So I'm going to show you something symbolically and allegorically, okay? Not that I'm playing the same type of bullshit as the Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, the Cabal. I'm not playing that. But what I can show you is examples of visual of what I'm trying to do here and what's going to occur. When I return in 4 weeks, things are going to be a little bit different. It's not going to change too much, but it's going to be a little bit different. And I'm not going to hold back anymore like I have. I've given enough time and I've shown enough mercy, compassion, and empathy. And sometimes you can only wait so long. There are a lot of people suffering in this world, and I have to think about them also, not just these individuals, even though, in a sense, they are victims of themselves. Okay? So what you're about to see is Sailor Saturn. Okay? Even though symbolically, yes, I can have the same power as Sailor Moon. Symbolically, that is what the Christ is. And it is within you. But at the same time, I also have the power of Sailor Saturn, which is destruction and rebirth. Things have to die in order to be reborn. And I need you to understand that. It may be very difficult, but I promise you what is rebirthed will be what you truly wanted anyway. So please do not be afraid. I'm not here to harm anyone in the way you think. I'm here to stop something that has been perpetuating far too long. That is why my creation came into being. Do you understand? This is why I was created this way as I sit before you today, to tell you these things. This is what my channel, why it has even come into existence. Okay? We all want the golden age of truth, but we will never get it with these people going around pretending to have alien boyfriends and trips over the ice wall and outer space and 20 and back super soldier hero bullshit. And I'm sorry, but it must be destroyed. And you may fight it, but really what would be best is for you to just move out of the way so it can happen. I've given these people enough time. I've called out to all of them multiple times. They do not want to change. They do not want to listen. So we must make them. Unfortunately. But in the end, it would be the best for all. So I present to you the scene of Sailor Saturn using her death, reborn, revolution, and then Sailor Moon rebirths the Earth after she ends it. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in 4 weeks. Bye! It's going to be okay. It just may get a little messy. But we survived worse. This is how we prevent getting reset again. We have to defeat them. And this is the only way. And I am sorry. It has to be this way. See you later.
All she has to do is swing, and it's total annihilation. Damn it! I refuse to let this be our fate! Not again!
No! Does this mean there's no future?
No, Saturn! Don't do it! Earth Reborn! Revolution!
My power is being sucked out of this massive negative aura. It's the same dormant power which surrounded the Omega area. I now see that power has awakened as the light that brings destruction. It was you!
She pulled him off the planet's surface. What frightening power.
Abominable existence, you invader! I condemn you! And Earth to total annihilation!
This is the end. We can't stop it. She's about to swing her Silence Glaive, which will destroy the alien, and the world along with it.